What I thought was interesting about Salah's performance, Tom, I thought it was actually a very Fernando Torres-like performance from him in that regard, or, it was a bit more early Klopp, and, that's what he is, because I agree. His hold-up play is not great, but he's just there to be constantly on the edge, to constantly cause problems, to be that outlet. If we're looking to counter-attack, we'll stick it in for a little through ball and beyond. His role is far more simplified than how Roberto Firmino plays it in a 4-3-3.
Yeah, and it's a lot more effective when he's taking the shots early as well. I've talked about them before, where he might have taken an extra touch earlier in the season, but there was a few ball over the top, volleys it straight at the keeper. It's a shot at goal. It's a good opportunity, I think.
And a good save.
And a good save, exactly. And a few of them and he's just scaring defenders, and then that's creating space. I think with his hold-up play, he's not a hold-up player, but we hit the ball straight to his feet, and he tries to flick it on. He tries to... There was a few times there was a man close to him, and he'd flick it to the man. I think he had like 68% pass accuracy, so you know what I mean? Most of the time they didn't work out, but he's trying that little spin and go, and then he's gone, and I think that's the little adjustment there of, okay, maybe we're using him now as, okay, we're breaking away from a corner, where do we go? It's Mo Salah there, and if we hit it over the top, there was a few times you'd be like, oh, is the defender getting there? 'Cause if he doesn't get there, Mo Salah's there. I love the way I know a lot of strikers do this, but he sees the defender going for it. He's like, I'm not winning that header. Go to the keeper, force them to play it back into the midfield, and we just win the ball again and keep it going.
They couldn't rest for a second with him playing in there, and I think he's far less. I think, like I said, I thought he was there. He was on the edge of being a threat at all times. I think that's the benefit of playing him in that position, but it's how it impacts everything around it. Because I still think, if you look at let's look at the Torres-Gerrard axis. That's still what we still need. And this is probably down to Firmino, either maybe it's a fitness thing, or maybe it's just him not needing to learn the role a little bit better. He still needs to be able to make those runs in beyond. And the problem is that everyone else is so fast, and Mo Salah's so fast. How are you meant to keep
from deep?
How are you meant to keep up with Salah in that role? And I think at the minute Firmino's being asked to do that job because it's his best second position. I don't think you want. I think there's a case to put Shaqiri in the 10. I think there's a case to put Mane in the 10, if I'm honest. But it means playing Firmino, you're getting a worse performance out of another position on the pitch. I don't think that formation suits the players we've got. But it's working, so it's fine.
It's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? I mean, another reason why I prefer to see Salah on the wing. I mean, he, in terms of his hold-up play in the centre, he's not great at it. He can still do a job because he's a fantastic player, but in the centre he's not great at it. Back to goal, hold up play, bringing someone else into play, spinning round and going for a run or whatever. On the wing, he's only got to concentrate on 40% of his field of vision. He hasn't got to worry about a player coming behind him. And also, like I think it was in the second half, he'd moved on to the wing and he was just messing about with three defenders, just mucking them about, just doing a few drag backs, like shielding the ball. And defenders can't stand that situation, especially with Mo Salah, because he's got the speed to go both ways. If he goes on his left, if we've got two runners going into the box, the defenders don't know whether to stay or to go with the runners. And then that opens a situation up where he can hit it with his left, which he's shown that he can do, top corner, or he can play the ball through. And how many times did we see that last season where either winger would split inside and there'd be 3 or 2 runners coming in for that reverse slide ball? And I think when he's up front on his own, you don't see that as much. And again, it offers that weird dynamic with Firmino, where's his best position in that system. Yeah. You know,
it's tough. It's tough with Firmino, isn't it? Because we have this expectation of Roberto Firmino. He scored 27 goals last season. We like that Roberto Firmino. I don't think he's going to get those numbers playing in the position that he's playing.
No, he's not, is he? But you can look at it and go, well, I think Salah and Mane are on the same amount of Premier League goals now. Are they on 7 each or something like that?
6, I think.
Is it 6 each? I think they're on the same anyway. So you look at that and go, well, the output from Mane is slightly better than last season at that point. Salah about the same. It's difficult, isn't it? Because we're judging the front three against the side that conceded about 50 goals last season. And now we're a side that after 12 games have conceded 5 and have got the joint best defence in the league. Something's got to give somewhere. And the fact of the matter is we've got more points at this stage last season, so the side's better.
Yeah.
It's just that you can't always say, well, you know, we were scoring fucking loads of goals last season. Of course we were. But equally, we were shipping a ton as well, and we weren't winning games in the fashion that we're winning games now.
Yeah.
What do you want? Do you want points on the board, or do you want the front three to score 70 goals?
I think we're sacrificing Firmino there, but we're filling in, especially in this formation, we're filling in Shaqiri, and I really like the way he plays that right wing role.
Yeah.
It's similar to the way we asked Mane to drift into the centre. Shaqiri's just better at it. Shaqiri's comes on the inside, finds that space somehow every time one of our midfielders has the ball, drops away, doesn't worry about hugging the touchline because he's got his fullbacks to do that.
Yeah.
So then he's stood in the middle, and then you're talking about we're not sure whether to have the quick ball over the top or to take a pot shot. He can do either. So he's striding forward with the ball. He's got runners all around him. He's got the short pass to Firmino. He's got the ball over the top to Salah. If he needs to, he goes back or he takes a shot. And that amount of options is brilliant to me. And we're creating opportunities. There's gonna be a game where we just score so many. We obviously we do need to be more clinical. I agree with you. We only won 2-0. We could have been like 4-0 up first half if we're just a bit better at shooting, take our chances. And that's not good enough for me, but it's certainly encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. I think Chris is dead right in so much as you got to trust that it'll get better. The thing is, and that's where the underlying fear lies, and it was a fear totally and utterly exposed by Red Star in midweek, because that's what everyone who's been a bit unsure about it, that result's been coming. Yeah. And you're not wrong to think that way, because let's face it, it has a little bit of complacency and relying too much on defence and not being scintillating in attack. You need to be able to have that in your locker. You've got to be able to we in a number of different ways, and we are getting things out. I think the issue falls down, and like I say, I think we just don't quite have the personnel, and maybe that's all down to Nabil Fekir not signing. Maybe it's down to Oxlade-Chamberlain, which, if it is down to Oxlade-Chamberlain, is a massive oversight, because we knew he was going to be out for the whole season. It's that thing of maybe we thought Shaqiri would adapt quicker to one of the midfielders. It still feels to me like if we can get him working as in the Oxlade-Chamberlain position, I think we'll be a much better team. But at the minute, we don't feel like a special team. We feel like a very, very good team, but we don't feel. I don't feel like we're on that. Look, we're not at the heights that we were last season. But then again, of course, as we say, we weren't at the heights this time last year either. But it feels like we're waiting for something else to click to make this work a little bit better. So again, I understand people's frustrations.
Just a final point on the Salah stuff, because I know I spoke to you about it yesterday on the hold-up play, and you lads have spoken about it, so I won't go too much into that. But one of the things that maybe no one's mentioned, maybe it's not right, is he doesn't look like he enjoys it. And I think that has a big thing to play in it as well. And I don't think Firmino particularly looks like he's enjoying the 10 either. Whereas last season, I think you could definitely say they were both enjoying the way that the team was playing. Yeah. And I wonder whether Salah just gets a little bit frustrated with having defenders, fucking big 6'5" guys, bashing into him every time he picks the ball up. Instead of, as you say, he's got the ball at his feet, he's running at a guy, he's got it on his terms. The other way around, it just doesn't look like it suits him.
I think it's the whole thing is, we're judging this on, again, the smiles come when you're scoring goals. And we're just not scoring as many goals, so you're not seeing as many situations where this is the thing, Liverpool are not a free-flowing, exciting, attacking football team this season. The forwards are having to work a damn sight harder to get the results that they were probably coming to them naturally. And in addition to that, we're asking them to learn new roles as well. We're a much more pragmatic unit this year, aren't we? And look at, and I say, we have just the change of formation. I said this a few weeks ago. 4-2-3-1 is just, it's a bang average Premier League, a good Premier League, good world football formation, isn't it? There's nothing super elite about it. It's what everyone kind of plays. And that's where we're at the moment. When you play 4-3-3, it's just something so sexy about 4-3-3, isn't there? And hopefully we'll get there, or hopefully it'll all click, in what we're doing. But I think it's easy to think that it's easy to look at them and go, doesn't look like they're having a great time, because they're probably not. Because they're not banging 5 in every week.
We've essentially gone from Mace Windu and Yoda lightsaber battling to fencing.
Yeah.
At the moment, that's kind of what we've got done. No wonder they're not enjoying it as much.
Yeah, well, it's more like an original trilogy. We're now original trilogy lightsaber battling, as opposed to fucking Yoda doing flips off ceilings, which is what we were doing last year. No, I agree with that. But that's the thing. I came out of it and I was like, look, we won 2-0. I'd be all over not being absolutely thrilled by how Liverpool play for the rest of the season if I knew we were going to go unbeaten for the rest of the season.